start recording, and I'm going to share my screen. Of course, the one screen that I want to share is not up, but I think I'm going to change that. So hold on a second. And I know this is not like the most visually pretty thing, so sorry, but so we're calling this leveraging LinkedIn because really LinkedIn has tremendous power to really catapult you and your job search, internship search, networking kind of into the future. And I also want to encourage you, even though this is about LinkedIn, do not forget about Handshake. Handshake has rolled out some really cool new features, especially when you're using it on your phone. So kind of things that we're saying about LinkedIn, I would say a lot of them apply to Handshake as well. But this is what we're going to go over tonight. Why LinkedIn, recruiting secrets, how you can use it, and profile updates that you can have to get results. So just a reminder, now 86% of companies are recruiting through social media, and 89% of recruiters say they've hired someone using LinkedIn. Some of you might remember Del Weiss. I know that he used LinkedIn to kind of navigate his internship search, and that's how he ended up at Intuit, and then did his internship there and then got hired. So also the LinkedIn jobs are rated 40% higher at delivering quality applicants, and they use a ton of AI. And so that's kind of part of what we're going to teach you of how to leverage your profile and other things that you do on LinkedIn to have results. So a couple of things that recruiters do, they have databases of talent. In fact, the really good recruiters spend thousands of dollars on members, like a special membership with LinkedIn to get data. Also, they're also using social recruiting on LinkedIn, Handshake, Instagram, Facebook, and even TikTok now. We should have added that. And the recruiters are using LinkedIn ProFinder, which the reason that that's important is that when we're sharing with you, oh, these are things that you need to do to affect the algorithms, that's how these recruiters are going to find you. So what you're doing in your profile drives your results, and LinkedIn wants you to be successful. So one of the things that I want you to keep in mind is thinking about how you want to position yourself. So some of you on this call are getting closer to graduation, and you probably have a little better idea of what you want to do with what kind of job you might want to start at. If you're still dabbling, you still might want a little more clarity, because basically the more clear you are in positioning yourself and marketing yourself, the more results that you're going to get, right? So if you think of like a bag of like chips, right? So Doritos chips, they don't like put all of their chips in one bag. You don't get Cool Ranch, you don't get regular, you don't get the fiery hot all in one bag. They pick one. So you want to think about like, how am I positioning and marketing myself into the future? And also the more data points you have, the more you're going to be able to connect with employers and grow your network. And we'll show you how to do that. So how are you found by the recruiters? So it's your keywords and making sure those keywords are in certain places, your actions, and the LinkedIn algorithms. So basically, these are some of the stats that to keep in mind. So Netflix, Google, Amazon, those are all like the big names. They received 5 million resumes for only 12,000 openings, and only 2.4% were hired. So, you're competing with all these other applicants. So you want to make sure, if you're going for a big name company, you want to make sure that you position yourself and can be seen. I would not say that should be your only strategy. You should be looking at a lot of different companies. And we're at the very end or close to the end. We're going to show you a really cool tool of how to better position yourself for your top 10 to 20 companies. So how do recruiters do this? So what matters with the technology? So one, it's your identity. So what you're including in your profile, what actions you're taking. So this is like, I know that everyone's time is like so hard, but I'm going to encourage you to block off, 15 minutes a day to spend on LinkedIn. So what is LinkedIn noticing what you're doing? They're noticing like what affinities you have, like who you're aligning yourself with, what articles you're reading, what videos you're watching, where you're applying for jobs. So all of that kind of comes into play. So you want to be kind of consistent with your brand and what you're looking for. So what you do on LinkedIn is equally important to your profile, because though all those inferences, they're using AI to figure out, to help figure out, who should see your profile. All right, so we just had Arnold join us for some reason. There we go. Okay, my screen wasn't shifting. So welcome, Arnold. So how can you use LinkedIn? So there's a couple features, and we'll come back to this, so that I want to show you. So one, it's not just about your profile. So you can actually find jobs and opportunities. You can make connections. You can look for jobs. There's like a little suitcase, and we'll look at that in a little bit. There's also, I don't have any of you ever tried the interview prep tool that's on here. So there's like, that is a really cool tool. And also LinkedIn Learning, which is an offshoot from LinkedIn, but you can get a free account with us. And a couple of you on this call I know have one. LinkedIn Learning has a new coaching feature to help you create learning paths for jobs, which I think is so cool. So if you said, I want to be a software engineer, or I want to be a sustainability director, you can check out what they recommend for your learning paths for your job, for jobs.
And these are like the courses and the certificates you can earn through LinkedIn.
Absolutely. And then, so what does all this mean? So it means that your career marketing plan is important. You need to think about keywords, which will show you. You want to have your profile set up correctly before you begin networking, and have a plan. And we kind of took this from our trainer, but he said, he really stresses getting on LinkedIn is not a job search. It is a career marketing campaign. So, think about yourself as marketing yourself to the world. You don't want to be passive. You want to think about your branding, your stories, your human voice, your content, your keywords, and your first impressions. So we're going to jump in and show you how to do that and how to leverage your profile. So in a second, I'm actually going to hop over to LinkedIn and show you, but these are the things that matter. A strong headline, a clear about section, your profile picture, your banner photo, your skills, a strong experience content, and additional supporting sections. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing for a second, and I am going to hop onto LinkedIn. So does anyone have any questions while I'm hopping over?
I could just add on to the career marketing campaign. It's not just like a one-off, like you create this great profile and let it lie there, but a campaign kind of suggests that it's like ongoing. You're, like she said, like 15 minutes a day, you're continuing to like input into the algorithm and help it work for you. So it has to be an active campaign. It can't just be static.
So I picked Gloria's profile because she has a lot of elements that are really working for her, and we'll bounce around a little bit to a few people. But one, she has a beautiful headshot. So I mean, she's smiling, so that's another thing. Like, you want to be smiling in these photos. I don't know why some people think they should be serious, but it is really, really important because it's warm and inviting, and people want to connect with you. If you haven't had a professional headshot done by Eric Lines, who we partner with, I suggest like having maybe a friend take one as best as you can that just looks as professional as you can. And then every fall and every spring, we offer free professional headshots, and we usually advertise it. Or if you haven't, you can even ask us, do you have the date set? It's so important that you have a professional headshot because that is your brand. So make sure that looks good. Some people, their picture's too far away. So when it's a headshot, you really want like shoulders and up. So that's really, really important. The people want to be able to see you. Then this is what's called your banner. And I think Gloria might have picked one of the stock ones that they have in LinkedIn, but now I will also say something. Right now, I don't know if she wants a job in chemistry, but her LinkedIn profile is speaking chemistry to me. So that we're just go. So that's you want to be, and someone like her that has a double major, you want to be careful of that. Like for example, if she wasn't really wanting to do chemistry, then I would say you got to change things up right now because it's speaking chemistry. You can also design your own. So hopefully, I'm hoping this is going to switch. Annika Marthaler, I don't know if did it switch screens to Annika for you guys? Okay, so you can design your own, and Annika's a Principia graduate out a couple of years, and I love how she took kind of her keywords of things that she does and designed her own banner. So that's another possibility. Chris also did that. Ajuga, so he designed something very, very simple, but the banner is important. So, I would say, my banner, I should probably design a new banner for myself. I'm not actively looking for jobs right now. I have like a nature scene. But for you all, since you're actively looking for jobs and internships, you want to have something on there. Now, I see a couple of you that have done solar car and you're in engineering, like you could pick something from solar car that, really, I mean, I've seen some really cool shots that way. So if you're running into trouble of like how to make the banner work, just run it by us or just say, hey, does this work? And we'll be happy to give you feedback. You can also kind of Google free LinkedIn banners, and that could be another way to do it. So this next part, this is the headline. So this is really, really important when it comes to keywords. And this is where Gloria gets an A+. So, because you'll notice on some other people's profiles and maybe your own, it defaults to kind of whatever your current job is. So for some people, all that it might say is current student at Principia College, or it might say, I don't know, library worker, but you want to get keywords in there. And the most important, the ones that are most aligned with the job that you're looking for, you want those first. You should also potentially have your job title in there. So if you were going to be like mechanical engineers, kind of like an easy one, that's a job title, but it would also be easy to put in these keywords. And we'll go back just the slides. I have some examples, but this is again like something we can help you with. But so important. Like you really want LinkedIn to understand those keywords. And the way that you would change it on your profile, like if I was on my profile, there'd be like a little pencil here, and you'd be able to click that and change the headline there. The other thing, and actually I'll have to go over to my profile to show you this. So the other thing that you want to do is you want to change this open to, you want to check out what you have going on behind the scenes. So I'm going to click on that, and I want to click on finding a new job. Now, this is really important. LinkedIn has their own database of job titles. So you want to kind of figure out like, what are those maybe 3 to 5 job titles that I'm seeing like a fit and a match for. So if I picked like, even directors of career centers have different job titles. I've had different job titles. So if I've also had different experiences. So if I was like, I'm done working in higher ed, maybe I would put a title of like marketing director if I wanted to go back and do marketing stuff. So this is really, really important because that's where the algorithms are going to be working behind the scenes. Then, in your case, I don't really recommend full remote work for new grads. The studies show that it's really, really hard to integrate into companies. But if that is something that you want or need to do, you can check that. But, you could check on-site and hybrid. And then you can also put locations. I think you can choose up to 5. And then even like if you are, I would say almost whatever age you are. So whether you're whatever grade you are, you could almost say immediately. And the reason I'm saying this is because if a sophomore or higher, you're looking for an internship, and some internships are already starting to hire for next summer. So you could say immediately I'm actively applying and check internship. If you are getting ready to graduate this year in the fall or next spring, you could say immediately full-time potentially. Or you could say flexible, I'm casually looking. And then this is where there's mixed views. So some people like the open to work. It would basically have a green line on your profile, but you don't have to show that. You can actually click recruiters only, and then only recruiters behind the scenes will see this data. So that's kind of a personal preference. One of the recruiters that trained us said that if you have open to work, it might mean it might show that you're between jobs, and so, or like you don't have a job, but I feel like a college student, you're in a different situation. So any questions on that so far? Okay, so those are, we're gonna go back to Gloria, and I'm gonna show you a couple other things that you need to pay attention to. So I also recommend that you can start a LinkedIn profile, but you should really have your resume ready to go, and you should have Monica or myself look at your resume. And once you have your resume done, the beauty of that is then you can take a lot of those pieces of your resume and just put them right into your LinkedIn profile. And then everything is really consistent. So for example, these experiences, Gloria probably pulled these out of her resume because I see she has all these beautiful active verbs like assist, operate, file, supervise, and all her different jobs. She also has education, so you'll want to make sure that you have your education on here. She went in and added projects. So she added, her Berlin study abroad. She added when she was in IPC. And this is a big secret that a lot of people don't know. So your skills, some of you that have been working with us might not, we just learned this. So LinkedIn is now letting you do 100 skills. So if before, like a few months ago, you were capped at 50, guess what? You can add up to 100 now. And this is so important. So for Gloria, I would actually recommend her to reorganize the order. So chemistry is great, but it will let you prioritize which skills you want to show. And you want to make sure it's showing your 2 top skills, right? So I know we have some engineering majors on here. We have some sustainability people on here tonight. We have some media people on here tonight. So, engineering or whatever, mechanical engineering or the type would be one of your top skills. And then you'd figure out what is that second top skill. Or if you were doing, sustainability or research. So that's really, really important. And then you could add out your courses as well as honors and awards. So those are some of the key things. I'm going to show you a trick. We're going to go figure out, you're probably like wondering what skills, how do I figure out my skills? So there's a couple of ways. And so one of the things that LinkedIn does with every job title, they attach 10 to 20 skills to that job title. So if you are paying for their premium subscription, there's a way that you can kind of get their list of skills, but there's also kind of a back end way. And we're going to learn about looking for jobs and internships, but also finding those skills. So if I go up to jobs, that little suitcase, this is also a great way to find jobs. And I can do a search. So I'm just going to pick marketing manager just because it's kind of a neutral position. And I was searching for this earlier. So I have entry level. I could also do internship level. For most of you, you're going to be looking either here like an internship entry level or maybe associate, depending on if you're a senior that is coming with a lot of experience. So now if I look at marketing manager, if I scroll down and these are some great keywords in here. Like this is actually a great job description. So you want to be reading the job description and saying, have I done any of that? If I have, is that in my resume? Is that in my LinkedIn profile? But then what's really cool is if you scroll down, you'll get to this little skills added by the job poster. So here, so this is kind of cool. So this is telling me that in my profile, I have a match so of these skills, but it is also recommending that I add Canva, Google Analytics, multitasking, and vendor management. So what's really cool is I could add it right now because I don't have my 100 skills yet. And the more, I mean, you want to be honest. I'm just saying, be honest though. If you don't have the skill, then don't add it. And I could go on to like another one. Let's look at this marketing manager. And that's also an easy way to kind of get up to your 100 skills. I wouldn't say as a college sophomore or junior that we would expect you to have 100 skills, but maybe by the time you're a senior, you might want to have like 80 or 90. So then if I scroll down, this one, okay, so normally there's like this little pencil here. So it's saying 5 skills match your profile. So let's look at what it says. So it's also telling me that the job poster wants bachelor's degree, commuting, 3 years of experience. Again, and if you'll notice, I actually do have a marketing background. So it's interesting, like all of these are a match. But then it's saying that, you know, there's also these other, there's a lot of multitasking and there's campaigns. So I could add that if I wanted to. So that's kind of a really cool thing to do.
So I got a question, Gary. Sorry.
Yeah,
If
go
you
ahead.
list all the skills like in your profile, and when someone is trying to read your profile and just like see those skills, is there like a way we need to list them, or just like any skill that you have, just you could put it there? Because sometimes when I look at my profile, and
Yeah.
sometimes I see like the skills, they don't overlap. Like they kind of like this skill and that skill and this skill and that skill, and I kind of like don't know.
Yeah, so they just changed it recently. So actually, the other thing
Okay.
I forgot to mention is in the about section, which
Mhm.
Gloria, I glanced over that, but in your about section, there's I'll show you in the slideshow a couple ways to do it, but also you can use your summary in your resume just for a quick fix there. But now they let you add 5 skills. So actually, I took some of my skills, some of my strengths from the Gallup Strengths Finder, and I use them as my top skills here. But I would say your top skills that you're featuring in your about section should be the things that you absolutely love to do and that you're good at. So I would like, because that you're really like highlighting that about yourself. So you do get to pick that. So if I click here, it's going to let me, and it's going to tell me like where I got it. Like I had endorsed by a couple of these. But it lets you choose that. And then for the other skills, I'll go down to the other section because I can't show it on someone else's profile, but it will let you, it will let you decide where you've done this. So like, for example, it will even ask me, tell us where you did creative ideation. And I could check in any job or any education where I did it. They do, the person that that trained us said that you don't really want more than 5 to 10 skills per job because it just becomes hard for them. It becomes hard for people to read on your profile. So like, for example, I currently attached these skills in my position as director of the Career Center. But you'll notice like, and I need to go back when I was working in real estate, I only have interpersonal skills. So that's like I haven't like updated it because that's kind of a new feature. But does that answer your question?
Yeah, yes, it does. Thank you so much.
Yeah, but definitely, just how it will let you reorder them and you want to make sure the top 2, just like Gloria had one is chemistry, but the other one had nothing to do with chemistry. So I would say if she's going for a chemistry job, you want to make sure those top 2 are related to chemistry. And part of that is it's for the LinkedIn algorithms, but it's also for people that might be looking at your profile. So I'm gonna go back to the slideshow for a quick second. Hopefully this isn't too overwhelming for people, and you're getting some good ideas. And okay. So just kind of a quick review of key tips. So think about, what is your billboard selling? So that's your profile picture and your banner. Are you smiling? What does it say about you? Then you want to get clear on the 1 to 3 job titles that you're looking for, and kind of asking, and if you're stuck on this is where you can make an appointment with us and we can look at it together, we can brainstorm. But is that job title in your headline? Do you know the skills that are attached to that job title? And sorry, there's 20 to 25 skills that travel with that job title. Your headline, so that's where Gloria had all those keywords right under her picture. That also should be written for your career future. So you should have those skills, but you should be thinking future forward. And then your about section, I'll show you a couple other ways that you can have fun with that. And I just showed you that you can put those skills in that about section as well. Okay, so here's a couple other sample headlines. So this was someone that was in economics. So they, we had, like, here's the job title, entry-level policy economic analyst. And then if you look at all these words are related to economics, but we also have some soft skills of like communications, leadership, because that is important in these jobs as well. Here's a linked sample headline for a social media assistant. So this would be something that you could easily probably see for one of our digital media majors. So how do you find the keywords? I showed you a couple ways, like by starting with those job descriptions. That's a really good way. There's also My Plan. There's a dictionary of occupational titles, company mission statements. But honestly, you can get a lot from a really good job description. And sometimes you can even look at job descriptions that aren't for the company where you're applying, but they're like a perfect fit for what you want to do. And that gives you some ideas as well. So in addition, you want to have diversity and density. So you want to have diversity showing a wide range of skills, but you also, once you find the top 10 to 15 keywords that you know are attached to the job that you're looking for, you want to repeat them throughout your profile. So that's also important. It's okay to use them more than once. And then just think about your LinkedIn content. Is it well branded? Is it engaging, conversational, and is it value-based? Meaning, is it aligned with who you're trying to, like, yourself? I'm not gonna kind of go over these I'm just gonna skim past that technical stuff. We talked about the open to work section. So we that was where we clicked on that little icon kind of for behind the scenes. And then also the industry. So this is in the open to work section. LinkedIn has 148 choices. So you want to pick an industry very, very carefully. So like our industry would be higher education that Monica and I work in. But for some of you, like you might have like a marketing person can work in a lot of different industries. Like maybe you're a marketing person that wants to work in automotive. So you just want to be selective of how you put that filter on. And then for your about section, if you want to have fun with it, like if you don't want to just put your summary in the about section, you could use any of these headlines to kind of share a more personal story about yourself. And we have copies of this, so don't worry if you don't have to write them all down. We have copies of this, and also we'll have the slides for you after too. And then we've talked about how important the skills are. I kind of talked about this when I was giving the demo. There's also accomplishments, and that's where you can add in LinkedIn under your profile, it says add a section. So we saw a lot of these on Gloria's profile, and she had just gone in and added some of these different sections. So you just don't want to forget about them. Like if you've done a capstone project, I know some of you have done solar car, you could put your internship in there, but the internship could go under like a work experience as well. But just don't forget about those things. And then education section, I think all of you that have a LinkedIn profile, I've seen you include this. You just kind of put the date when you're planning to graduate. And don't forget to include sports, because that's also really viewed positively for sportsmanship and competition. And I would say that for like any extracurricular activity. So if you're on mediation team, or if you're in the theater, or anything extracurricular you're doing, it makes it
House board.
house board, exactly. And then you want to do a final check. And this is where also we can help you out and kind of, give you, you don't even, and so if you felt like, wow, I can get started, you could literally just email us and say, I came to the webinar, I watched the video, can you take a look at my profile? And we wouldn't even have to meet. We could start by doing a video for you and just kind of walking through what we're seeing. I mean, we're happy to meet with you, but I know that sometimes it's easier to kind of get started the video. So a couple of advanced skills that we wanted to pass along. So this is like so important. This is a game changer. And I do think that Del Weiss used a strategy like this with Intuit. So if you really have your heart set working for certain companies, and I would say, if you're picking 10 to 20 companies, don't pick all of the really, really hard ones. Like, and by hard, I mean the ones that, only hire 1%. So pick a mix, but create a list of 10 to 20 target companies. Then you want to connect to 10 people from that company. Then you want to start engaging with that company and their content. You want to turn on the company and the job alerts and follow that page. You want to check notifications on the company page, and also make sure you have your open to work turned on. So that was like when I went in and said open to, but I'm going to show you, I'm going to stop sharing and kind of show you how we might do this. We'll go back. Has anyone tried anything like this that is on here, the call?
I think Raveen might.
It's just, I'm trying to navigate back to sharing.
I love that checklist because it's almost like if you do schedule that 15 minutes a day, that could be part of your 15 minutes is just going down that checklist and practicing some of those things, connecting with 10 people from a company.
Okay, so I'm going to just come up here and I'm just going to pick Boeing. I guess, well, they've been in the news a lot, so maybe that, but, so for one, I can go to their company page, right? So if I go to their company page, right now it's, encouraging me to follow it, right? So I could start following Boeing. I mean, that's what I would want you to do. If this was one of my top 10. Now, I'm also going to really like read about them and get to know and kind of see like what their posts. Now, maybe I missed the right here. It's making it very easy for us to interact. Now, I would not be insincere. Like I wouldn't just, click on every single one and like it. And you want to do thoughtful comments if you're doing it. You could also repost. So all of those things matter, but I would just say, do it with some discretion, but you could do it regularly. Then it's telling you there's almost 12,000 people that work in the greater St. Louis. And it's telling me right here that I have 7 connections there, which is really, really cool. So I could quickly get a sense I could just click here and it's already telling. So I'm already almost to my goal, right? Because it said to connect to 10 people. So here, it also is telling me people I might know. So Sammy Keys, he's a Prin person. Ava Switzer, I'm not, she might be, but so it's already giving me kind of a hint at like, you might know these people. I can also, the other way to do this, if I go back to Boeing, so I could go to people, and there's a couple different ways you can navigate this. And I love this because I can click on first connection. So that means people I'm directly connected to. So here's people that have a connection at Boeing. I can click on second connection. So that means someone I know knows this person. So this Debbie Johnson is telling me that these connections of mine know Debbie Johnson. And this Ava Switzer is telling me, like, I can tell that it's probably like I have 113 mutual connections with Ava Switzer at Boeing. So that's pretty strong. So if I wanted to connect with Ava, I might see if any of like, well, Peter Tosto, obviously, like he's one of our professors. I know Peter very well. I could say, Peter, are you friends with Ava? Because I've noticed, I would love to talk with her or connect with her. And so I could, Peter could make the introduction for me if she was really, really important. I could also, in this case, because we're so highly connected, and I'm pretty sure she's Principia related, I
Yeah.
could just send her a message and say, well, she is a first connection already, but I'm just saying, let's say that she's a second connection. I could send her, and actually Jeff Jewell, I know Jeff Jewell, so I'm gonna, whoops, I'm gonna add it. You always want to add a note. So, I actually know him, but, because you don't want to, so maybe we'll see if he will accept my request. He probably, I mean, I actually know him. Sometimes when you're scrolling, like a lot of these other people, I don't really know them. So then you'd want to say, why you wanted to connect. Like for all of you, you could just say, I'm an engineering student, or I'm, a marketing student, and I know, and a Principia student, and we both went to Principia. So there's a lot of different ways to do it. You just want to have that connection. But that's how you find people at the companies. And then as as the company posts stuff and as you interact with that material, that is going to score you higher. So the reason that matters is if you remember, we talked about the recruiters. So the recruiters are using LinkedIn software. So they're doing a little, maybe they've been hired by Boeing, let's say, to find, they have 20 people types of positions they're looking for. Well, the software, if you have now used this strategy with Boeing, guess what? You're probably, if you have the right keywords in your profile and you've been interacting with the company and people at Boeing, like the way that we've talked about, you're going to score higher in the software and hopefully get on, the computer screen of the recruiter.
Mhm.
And that's how you start to get noticed. So that's like super duper important. Like if, I really don't think a lot of our students know about that or that are actively doing it, but that's where, like Monica said, if you kind of like designated, like I would even put it into your calendar, like, and I know how hard it is because I've tried to designate 15 minutes of LinkedIn and it doesn't always happen, but I'm also not looking for a job. So like, this is, if you're looking for a job and opportunities, like that might be the motivation. Like, hey, if I can do this, that will help my future prospects of, having those leads and connections. And for those of you that are at internships right now, connect with those people in your company. So this is a great opportunity to like find people that you're, maybe you got to have lunch with the marketing team, or you had, some of you are saying you've started to meet people. See if they're on LinkedIn and start making those connections, because even if you don't want to work at that company, they probably know people in the industry. They're probably connected to other people in the industry. So pretty
Carrie,
cool.
when we
Yeah.
start reaching out to those people, don't you think that they will be like, oh, he's reaching out to us just like because he wants a job to our company or something like that? Because that's like kind of like something that, kind of like slow us down. Like when you reach out to someone and, he start thinking that, oh, you really want to talk here because you want to work in this company. So how do you
Well,
definitely avoid that?
yeah, I mean, if it happens to be, I mean, I didn't I didn't plan it, but I was fortunate that Boeing, there's a lot of Principia connections, and sometimes there's companies where there's like no Principia connections. So that makes it a little bit harder, but because, I do think a lot of people love college students and they want to help. So you don't want to reach out and say, hey, I want a job, but you could even say, hey, I noticed that you're, a mechanical engineer and that's what I'm studying. And I would love to connect with you. And if you had time, I'd love to have a 15-minute informational interview with you. So then maybe they'll connect, who knows, they might accept the request and say, I don't have time, or they might say, yeah, let's talk. But you can only, some people are going to turn you down. Don't take it personal, because some people forget to get on LinkedIn. We had I shouldn't be making excuses, but I mean, I've had, like, in the spring, we were just so busy, and I've had messages in my box that in LinkedIn that I didn't see because we had other things going on. But there's some people that are really active with it, and will respond really quickly. So I would just kind of take the approach of like wanting to learn, and maybe exciting about, if you can find an angle where you can kind of connect.
Where you're curious about other people sincerely. I think that is always such a great way to connect with people. So
And
bringing,
if you're,
yeah,
oh, go ahead.
go ahead.
And if you're not sure how to craft that message, or if it's like someone that's kind of important to you for some reason, you can always like send us an email and kind of say, this is what I was going to say. Do you have any recommendations? So one of the things that you kind of, that this kind of leads into our next slide is LinkedIn is they're limiting more and more the amount of friends or like connection requests that they'll let you have. So one of the strategies, and I know that I know every penny is important to you all. When you are getting very serious for a job search, like meaning you're getting ready to graduate or you have an internship, I highly recommend investing in the premium subscription for LinkedIn, because there's a lot of features and they will let you try it for 30 days. So you could try it for 30 days, but then I don't know, when, if it's maybe once a year, they let you do that. So it's $40 a month, or if you pay all at once, I guess it's $20 a month. But basically with premium, you have unlimited requests. You can also see what people are doing with your profile. So right now, some of you might notice, like, once in a while, LinkedIn will say, oh, you're getting noticed, or, 20 people viewed your profile, but it won't tell you who. If you have premium, it will tell you exactly who looked at your profile. And one of the benefits of that is if it was a recruiter, you could immediately message that recruiter and say, hey, I noticed you looked at my profile. Like, can I help you? Or, and that can sometimes actually kind of get you even more noticed, so there's some strategies to that. There's also, this is kind of cool. If you're using LinkedIn on mobile, you can send a voice video message. And I did not know that. And it is actually a really cool thing. I tried it out. You can't do it from the desktop, but how you might use that. So let's say you are going to have an interview, or you just had an interview, you could send a voice video message to the person you just talked to, thanking them. Or you could also use this as a way to reach out to people for an informational interview. But the thing, you cannot like redo it though. I think you can cancel it, but that's also just kind of like a warning. It's not like there's not like a lot of editing. So you want to get it right. But our recruiter that trained us said that it kind of gives you that extra edge, because people don't really know about that but it does show up like pretty quickly for people. Like I was just playing around with it with people that I knew. You can also save your resume on the back end, and we can show you this, but if the reason that this is important is if you could create a resume that has a lot of keywords at the back and save it, and it will help with the LinkedIn Recruiter software. And then also, if you pay for premium, you can use what they call resume insights. And so then you can see what skills that they have attached to the job title. So that is actually a good feature. And that is something, like, we have not purchased the premium, but we are going to. So that is something that even if you were not going to invest in premium, we could use our premium subscription and find those job skills for you. And then finally, well, like we've kind of been talking about, before we kind of do our check-in, I want to I kind of reverse these up, but you want to have a vanity URL. So that's like simply LinkedIn with your name. So basically I can, and I'll just show you how to do this really quickly because it's a lot. Does people that have this, do you all have a vanity URL or we don't know?
Yeah, I do. I do.
So I'll just show you. So if you notice like well, you can't notice it because I didn't share my screen yet. So I'll show you really quick. Okay. So if you notice like my LinkedIn URL is my name. So how you change that, if there's any of you on here that don't have that vanity URL yet, you go to right here, public profile and URL, and you click on that pencil, and then you can edit it right here. So I would just click on that. So let's say I change my name. I could just click on it and change my URL, but normally it assigns you like a numeric thing. So you want to have like as close to your name as possible. Cause again, it like goes back to your brand.
And you use that same link for your resume. So you want that to be nice and clean.
Exactly. And then I wanted to show you really quickly. I know some of you are already using LinkedIn Learning. But this is like so cool. Because this is so I'm in LinkedIn Learning, and if you want an account, you just need to email me and I can get you set up. But they have this new My Career Journey. So you click on that and you can pick, like, if I wanted to have a career goal, so it asks you like, maybe I wanted to transition into I'm not gonna like, but I could pick one of these, and then it lets you decide, it will tell you what skills you need. So this is like, I was playing around with this. So like if I wanted to work on coaching, here are like coaching videos. If I wanted to work on career management, here are some skills. If I wanted higher education administration, here are some skills. So whatever career path, now I don't know, I did not play around with for our engineers, but like, I don't know that it has a lot of engineering content, but it definitely would have like management, leadership, so other skills that you're going to need in certain fields. So kind of think out of the box when it comes to that.
One thing I've noticed with that is that
Yeah.
just like text the very first job listing that you put in, in your profile and try and want to expand that. And for example, I've been working at Print as a office manager and project manager for physics department. So I put that there and then it's stuck. The only one thing, it's stuck there. I want to change and get other skills, but it does not allow me to, personalize other skills. And that's kind of like,
I wonder if that one where that menu was, where it said, what do you want to do? I wonder if it would let you go and change that there. Cause it said I could change my career path or I could transition to a new job.
I think I wanted to change, but it listed something really that I don't know, something I did not like. Yeah.
We might have to like work on it with you together, maybe.
Okay. Cool.
So we kind of have been stressing, the pro tip, scheduling 15 minutes a day for LinkedIn and also Handshake. And as I mentioned with Handshake, I would suggest using it on your phone because they have an awesome new kind of like scrolling feed, like a feed that is also customized to hopefully content that you want to engage with. But anyone want to share anything that was helpful tonight or any final questions?
For sure, I'm just really grateful that you guys managed to have this session. Especially the timing was really great, so I'm thankful.
Oh, good.
Good.
Yeah, because I just came back from work not so long ago. After
Go from work straight to a workshop.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely, or I was just wanted to know if I could possibly have a meeting with you guys, probably later. I don't know what the timing is with regards to that, because I also do have a few personal questions, with regards to like enhancing your profile. Like,
Yeah.
this could be a thing where, is it really necessary to put all our jobs that we worked at Print onto our
Probably not all of them. I mean, you can pick and choose, like, because I mean, some of you had a lot of jobs, or then you've had some jobs that were, maybe not related to what you're doing. Like they were like you did your pub hours or you did your facilities hours.
Yeah.
Not that sometimes though, there's great leadership experience that happens in those. So it's like not to discount those, but yeah, I mean, if you're someone that's had like 10 different jobs at Prin, then you might want to like whittle that down
Okay.
and we can kind of work with you on that.
Sounds good. But
Yeah.
yeah, Paul, I'm really grateful with regards to the time and effort that you guys put into helping us. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we were just excited because, you know, there were just like the 100 skills, like that's new. And then just, you know, just different things of, I think it's always good to kind of go back and get a refresher. And like, you know, some of you on this call, I know actively use LinkedIn, but it's always kind of good to like relook at your profile with where you are now, because when you started your profile, you might have had a different career idea than where you're going now. So just kind of to relook at all of that and figure out. And the cool, you know, if some of you, I know we have some of our international students here, if any of you are thinking like, I might want to go back home, like LinkedIn is a great place. I mean, I know in some regions, maybe it's not as popular, but I had, Don Bosco, he did our LinkedIn training. And then when he went to Tanzania, he was literally training the company on LinkedIn. So he was getting them all excited about LinkedIn. So you never know, but you know, there could be companies back at home or in other countries too. You know, I love that it's a global network. And some of you are working for companies that have a huge international presence. So that's really awesome if you can kind of connect with people in your current, you know, internship or location.
And yeah, while you're all so busy with your internships, I hope you can all feel like it's a little bit of a slower pace in the summer. So this is such a great time to be investing in your professional development like this and get your LinkedIn all buttoned up and, you know, updated from the past year and updated with your resume or your current internship. So I'm so glad that you guys all took the time to show up, because
Yeah.
hopefully it feels like a slower pace right now that you can kind of take time to do this stuff and not add it on top of your term when the school year starts again.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, oh, I had a question. No way, I forgot it.
Uh-oh.
Sorry. Sorry.
But
No
yeah, I
pressure.
mean, you all know how to find us. So you can just, you know, send us an email and we can figure out a time to connect. And for those of you that are, you know, working all day, but you need to have an appointment, we can, you know, just like tonight, we kind of decided that's why we did an evening thing, because we knew so many of our students have internships. So we can definitely find times that are like outside of the workday if you need to have a, you know, a meeting to talk about stuff. And then I would just say, like, tell your friends, don't be shy, because you all are the best spokespeople. You know, it's when you all get excited about it, then other, you know, then other students get excited about it. And then I'll just do a quick plug. If any of you are in the St. Louis area, it's actually, oh my, I can't believe how quickly it's coming up. It's in 10 days. So for international students on Friday, the 28th at 9 p.m. on the college campus, there's going to be an international alumni and affinity reunion. And Monica and I will be there, even though it's almost our bedtime at that time. But it should be a great networking opportunity. And then on Saturday for all students, Saturday the 29th at 2:30, there's going to be a networking event at the alumni weekend, and it's to meet any alumni that are coming in and any current students. So even if you are not currently living on campus, but you're in the area and you want to attend, like please be like, we will be at both of those events, and they are great opportunities.
Bring friends. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a very cool situation because it's very transparent that the purpose is networking. So you're going in with the intention of really, you know, making connections and being curious about someone and hopefully adding them to your LinkedIn.
Yeah, it's kind for those of you that have come to the pub shakes and pretzels, it's going to be like that, but even bigger, because the alumni board will be there. A lot of, I don't know if every single one, but on that Saturday event, but then plus others, like because alumni that were planning to come to the reunion weekend asked the alumni office, can we please have like a networking event? So they're really excited to meet our students. So And sorry if I'm sure Brian's not going to be flying in from El Salvador, so but I know a couple of you are in the area, and like, please tell your friends. And
Thank you very much.
yeah,
Thank you.
did you remember your question, Arnold?
Yeah, I got it. So I was wondering if you want to switch a career. Rabin, I'm not changing my career, but if you want to switch a career and then you wanna you wanna change all the stuff, how to do that with LinkedIn?
It's all keyword driven, right? So if you like I said, if I've had a couple different career paths, but if I wanted to go like heavy back into marketing, and I've joked with students, like if you ever see my headline change, you'll know I'm looking for other jobs. Like you before anyone else at Print would, like especially if I was deciding to like make a change. So if it was me, I would like remove anything related to higher ed or career development. And I would like get all those marketing words. I'd kind of figure out what is that target position and what are those keywords and what are the ones that I can honestly put in my profile. So it comes down to like, what is that new job that you're looking for? And then what are the keywords of that job? And then getting it in those important places, like getting it in your headline, and then making sure the skills in your profile are aligned with that job that you're changing to.
Thank you, Karen.
Yeah. But that's a really good question. I mean, and I think, a lot of people change jobs. I mean, some are more extreme, but I think, we have, really all the majors that I see on the screen are, like in STEM and engineering, and we have like digital media, we have sustainability, we have business. And if you think about it, in all of those spaces, there are different career paths you can take. So that's why you kind of want to pick out like, what are those 1 to 3 job titles I'm looking for, and get clear on the keywords that are associated with it. And when Monica and I first took this class a couple of years ago, I had used LinkedIn in a different capacity that was really effective, but not focusing on keywords and skills. And it is kind of magical when I changed my keywords to align with higher education. All of a sudden, the content that I was being driven to me was much more aligned with what I'm currently doing. And even most of like, I'll still get like job notification, like this would be a good fit. I have had a few recruiters. I had a recruiter from another college trying to recruit me to apply for a position recently, like in the last few months. And so that was all related to keywords. So it does work. But if you're not getting the results, that's when, like on LinkedIn or Handshake, that's when you should circle back to us and say, like, can you look at this? Like, so we can kind of look at what you've put out there, and we can kind of troubleshoot like the results you're getting, because maybe something is just a little bit off. So any other questions? These are great. Well, we're so glad that you all showed up. Brian, are you looking for sea turtles tonight, or is it only during the day that you do your
No, now I'm resting a little bit. It was a tough day, but yeah.
yeah. Because sometimes, maybe it's I've heard of people like protecting the eggs at night or something or other.
Sometimes we need to go over there and take the eggs and for another place, but usually not.
Okay. Yeah. If any of you I don't know if you've seen our Instagram channel, but Brian and Rafa, there's a video of their internship. It's pretty cool with the sea turtles in El Salvador. So. All right, which I should also do another plug. If any of you want to send videos in, and Emmanuel, I think Isaac was going to reach out to you and ask if he could edit videos that you sent to put public, but anyway, but feel free to send us videos because we love to promote you all on Instagram.
Show us what your internships look like.
Yeah.
I mean, people are so curious what you all are doing, and you're all doing such interesting different things.
Yeah. And I'm going to stop my
Gosh,